how are things going on in the business plan world? So, and the rest of your expansions that you're doing, but what kind of things have you been seeing in dealing with USCIS and the embassies in regard to business plans?
Okay, great question. As you know, I've been active in the immigration world in the US for almost 13 years. So it's been an interesting ride. And of course, it's been challenging dealing with many cases where US consulates and embassies are closed. So one of the trends that we've been dealing with is a lot of cases being, let's say, E2s, change of the status. I know that many attorneys are not comfortable with the risk level behind the change of a status, but doing a change of the status creates its very own set of I'm not going to say challenges, but realities that we need to deal with. The main one being, for example, E2s, just to use an example. The adjudication criteria that we've seen, we've seen it before. We had seen it before, but doing so many cases for change of the status, we're kind of seeing certain trends. And the main one is how E2 business plans are being reviewed with the higher level of scrutiny.
Yeah.
In some cases, we've been hired to write a business plan for a case that maybe was presented with a really basic business plan, but then the language of the RFE, it looks like an EB-5 case. So it's, that type of thing. So we're seeing that challenge across the board with, again, change of status. That's one thing. We've been doing more and more of, which I find really interesting because I love finding solutions to complex problems. It's kind of in my mindset and my team's kind of way of doing things. A lot of expert opinion letters. And just to share a few examples with you, we did a few months back, an expert opinion letter for was an A2 renewal. And the challenge was that the E2 company was bleeding money. They were losing a lot of money. So the USCIS came back saying, hey, we have a problem here with marginality. Okay, how can you run this company and be able to make sufficient income if this company is bleeding, money? So, we put together the expert opinion letter saying, look, an enterprise that does not have the capacity to generate, such income, but has the present or future capacity to make a significant economic contribution, is not considered a marginal enterprise. Of course, I'm not an immigration attorney, and with the letter in coordination with the immigration attorney, but that's where we came in and did this whole analysis to highlight in detail all the significant economic contribution, beginning with how many jobs have been created over the last 5 years, direct, indirect, total payments, salaries, payment through vendors, $1.4 million, and then direct, indirect, and induced jobs that were created. The end result was the visa was approved. So that was an interesting case. Then we recently did one for, the company has sponsored someone that the company needed to prove its ability to pay the wage. So we came in with our background in finance and did not only an analysis of the last 2 financial statements, but did projections based on industry trends, industry benchmark to show that the company was, more than capable of paying the wage, the preferred wage.
That issue would be the kiss of death in certain cases. You get that, and you're like, you don't have the income right now to pay for it. No, but like you kind of break down it with financial statements to show that when the person starts working, gets the employment, that they'll have the ability to pay.
Exactly, because
Or
we've
they
even
have it right
done,
now, even.
yeah, we've done cases for companies that, for example, and it's in case law, companies that have been investing heavily in research and development. So you look at the financial statement and look, this company is losing money, but once you analyze the financial statements and kind of translate the statement into layman's language and point out why the company can really, or has the ability to pay, and again, that along with projections. Again, the key lies in using industry standards and of course being creative, finding the solution. But yes, that was another interesting case.